Hi everyone, welcome back to Lola's Frugal Life podcast. This is my weekly meal plan episode. If you haven't listened to this before, every Wednesday I do a quick episode where I share with you what's on my meal plan for the upcoming week. Maybe you might hear a recipe that sounds interesting to you, or maybe this will just motivate you to work on your meal plan. I just think meal planning is really important, so I just kind of do this as a way to hopefully maybe try and help you with yours, or maybe just provide some encouragement to try and get something together, or some ideas. Maybe you hear something you might like I said. So I have a blog post that comes out each week the same day as the podcast on my website at lolasfrugallife.com, and I have each weekly meal plan posted on there. And if there's any recipes that I mention during this episode that are from a specific website, I'll have links to those recipes in that blog post. So this meal plan is only for dinners because that's all I plan for. I do rotate my recipes pretty frequently, so you're not always going to hear like lots of new recipes. I do use kind of like a rotation of meals on a somewhat regular basis to make my meal planning really easy, because that's my priority right now, just to have it like come together really quickly so I'm not spending a whole lot of time meal planning. But I do throw in some new recipes once in a while when I have time or when I want to. So anyway, so this week's meal plan starts on Saturday, October 22nd. And Saturday, I'm going to be making asparagus and mozzarella stuffed chicken breast. I haven't made this in a really long time. This recipe is from allrecipes.com, but it's really good. You basically take like a chicken breast and you put asparagus spears and mozzarella cheese in the center, and you bread the chicken breast. I forget exactly like the process to make it, but you want to baking it in the oven. You use like a toothpick to kind of hold it together and bake it in the oven, and it comes out like kind of fancy in a way, like kind of like, I don't know, I picture it as kind of more like what you would like order from like a restaurant type meal. And it tastes really good, so I'm gonna do that on Saturday. And since it has asparagus in it already, for a side I'm just gonna do baked potatoes, because I figure it's already got like the chicken and asparagus is in like the main dish, and then we'll just do like baked potatoes on the side with that. And I'll probably just do them in the microwave, just like wash them off, poke some holes in them, and then stick them in the microwave on the baked potato setting. For Sunday, I'm going to do bow ties with sausage, tomatoes, and cream. That's also from allrecipes.com. This is like a one pot, one pan kind of dish. Well, actually, it's really not one pan because you have to cook the pasta separately. But it's really simple. I just get the pasta boiling on one side in a big like skillet. I cook up the sausage, and then I add the tomatoes and cream and whatever the ingredients for the sauce, and then just dump the bow tie pasta in it when it's done and mix it all up. And it's a pretty quick and easy meal to make. So we're going to do that for Sunday, October 23rd. For Monday, October 24th, I'm going to be doing ribeye steak. We do this once a month. I just take this steak and I marinate it with some Montreal steak seasoning, some olive oil, and some red wine vinegar, and then just cook it under the broiler. In the summer I cook it on the stove, but at this point I'm kind of like transitioned to cooking inside again. So I'll just cook that under the broiler. If you don't usually cook under the broiler and you decide to do that, just make sure you give yourself enough space between the steak and the broiler flame, especially if it's a little bit of a fattier steak like ribeye is, because I actually caught the broiler on fire one time. I was able to put it out, and we were actually still able to eat the steak because I noticed it right away, because I was like in the kitchen watching what was going on and like checking on it constantly, and I saw it immediately as soon as it caught on fire. But anyway, yeah, so just be careful with that broiler, because the fat can pop up and cause it to go into a flame. So anyway, but I will be cooking it under the broiler. And then for a side dish, I'm going to do Mexican white rice, which is also from allrecipes.com. This is like rice and peas and carrots and everything all kind of combined with some seasoning. And I made it once, maybe a couple months ago, and I really liked it. So I thought that would be a good side dish to go with the steak. I usually do try and do two sides, but if it's like something like this, where it's like rice and vegetables all together, I kind of count that as I'm good. I don't need to make two separate sides. So we're just going to go with that for Monday. For Tuesday, we always do like a Mexican theme on Tuesdays. So this Tuesday is Chipotle night. So for that, we basically just make like homemade Chipotle bowls where I take some chicken breast and cut it up in small pieces, toss it with a little olive oil and some chili powder and some seasoned salt, and I broil it under the broiler until it gets like almost a little bit crispy. And then I just serve that with like brown rice, black beans, avocado, salsa, shredded cheddar cheese, sour cream. Trying to think, I think that's mostly it. And everyone can just make like their own like Chipotle style bowls for dinner. That's like one of my favorites. I could eat that like almost every week if my family would not complain that I was making the same exact meal every single Tuesday. So then for Wednesday, we do usually a seafood dish. So this Wednesday I'm doing fried flounder. So for the fried flounder, I just take frozen flounder fillets and defrost them, and I dip them in egg and breadcrumb and fry them in a frying pan. And then I'm gonna do cauliflower au gratin on the side, which my family really likes. You basically cook a head of cauliflower. Well, you cut it up into small pieces and you cook it. You boil it in water. You're supposed to boil it in water, but what I actually do is I just put it in a microwave bowl with a little bit of water and I steam it in the microwave for like 10 minutes. But either way, you have to cook the cauliflower a little bit, and then you mix it up with it's like sour cream and shredded cheese and maybe some seasonings, I forgot. And then I think you top it with breadcrumbs and you bake it in the oven. But my family really seems to love that, and so I'm gonna do that to go with the fried flounder. And I just noticed I normally in that situation I would do another side, but I guess I was just being kind of lazy this week, so I only went with the one side. So it's just gonna be the fried flounder with the cauliflower au gratin on the side. And then for Thursdays, we always do soup and grilled cheese or breakfast for dinner, because that's when I go food shopping and I try and keep my meal prep time down. So for this Thursday, I'm going to be doing spinach tortellini soup, again from allrecipes.com. I'm not sponsored by them, of course. It's just I get a lot of recipes from there. This is super, super easy. You basically just put like chicken broth in a pot with frozen spinach and tortellini, and you just cook it up. It's like so super quick and easy, and my family really likes it. And then I'll just make some grilled cheese sandwiches to go on the side with that. And then Friday, we are celebrating, we're going out for our birthday dinner, so I will not be cooking on Friday, so I don't have a recipe to share for Friday. So that is it for this week's meal plan. I hope this motivated you, or maybe you heard a recipe that you'd like to make, but meal planning is it's just saved me so much time and stress. I used to stress so much over what I was going to cook and spend so much time, and I finally got a way down that works for me to meal plan. And it is somewhat repetitive, but at this point in my life, it just works. So if you can find a way to know what you're going to make for dinner and not have to worry about it, and plus it saves money because you only buy what you are actually going to cook and you don't end up throwing away groceries because you never made them. So anyway, that's why I do this meal plan, and that's why I do the meal plan episode, to try and help you with it. So that's it for this week. I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you back here next Wednesday. So thank you for checking in for this podcast episode. And don't forget, you can always email me with any questions or suggestions at lolasfrugallife@gmail.com. You can follow me on Instagram and Facebook at lolasfrugallife. And you can find a blog post for most of my episodes, and definitely all of my meal plan episodes, at lolasfrugallife.com. You can also join our private listeners group at facebook.com/groups/lolasfrugallife. And if you enjoy the show, please make sure to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you listen from. And I would love it if you would screenshot the show and tag me on Instagram so I could see you're listening. Also, if you can please take a couple of seconds to rate and review the podcast. Those ratings and reviews are what help the show come up better in search results so that other people can find this podcast. So that will really help me in growing my audience. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you have an awesome day.